There we go. Good morning, everybody. I just need to adjust my camera. My daughter is using this as well for her homeschool. I'm just trying to get myself that I fit. So just let me play around a little bit. As you get your mat set up, make sure you have enough space to move your arms. I'm noticing that I can get a little close to the wall and I'll run into it. So make sure you have space so you can move your arms. There, we're getting it just a tiny bit more. All right. And then perhaps a pillow. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Let me make sure I am set up here. Ooh, there, that looks pretty good. Okay. If you know you have neck issues, if you're practicing your sit-ups or some of this Pilates stuff and you feel like your neck gets tired, grab a pillow, okay? So then when we lay on our back, you want to feel like your chin is in line, that you don't feel like you're stuck. Some people, their neck gets a little tight and they feel like they're stuck up like this, and then that's what causes that neck to hurt. So grabbing a pillow, and anytime we're on our back, cushion your head and make sure that feels comfortable. All right. All right. What time have we got? About 5 more minutes. All right. I'm going to move my mat. Trying to find the best spot. I'll probably adjust for an hour if I let myself. It's just good enough, right? It's good enough. All right. There we go. All right. So like I said, mat, make sure you've got space from the wall behind you all around. If you want to grab a pillow, a bed pillow, when we lay on our back, I can cue you, then you can cushion your neck. Make sure your neck doesn't get too tired, anything like that. So hanging on just for a few more minutes here. Just let me make sure I'm all set up on my settings here. All right. Okay. Do you want me? I actually got it. I am not a computer person. As you know, I teach Pilates and yoga and I do massage therapy, but I am very lucky. My husband is in IT, so he has been a godsend through all of this. So we'll hang out for just a few more minutes. I'm going to wait until straight up 11 o'clock just to make sure everybody gets a chance to join in and get settled there. All right, a little cheat. I have a tiny clock here to help me remember what time it is. All right. So just a few notes before we get started. Always practice Pilates with what feels good. My favorite analogy is when we start to do Pilates, it's like it's going from printing to cursive. You don't need to squeeze your pencil harder. You just slow down and you get a little more dexterous. So as we do these exercises, it's not quite like a boot camp push like that. We're not going for that kind of strength and that kind of power and endurance. We're looking for the strength that would let you write in calligraphy or cursive for hours and hours and hours, because that's what we're doing, is we're sitting up against gravity or standing up against gravity for how many hours a day. So as you move through these exercises, you want to practice and you want to feel strong at about 80%. You might want to feel, I don't know, is the right word, struggle? You want to feel a little bit of a struggle or resistance or, uncoordination, maybe that's the right word. But only 30 to 20%, you want to feel mostly strong and capable in the exercise. You don't want to keep pushing to the point where you feel like
Pilates kind of yogi.
We're going to train the Pilates. So that makes sense. You want to try, but feel strong through most of it. And we don't push for that extra. We want to finish strong. So as I said, we're always teaching those muscles to hold us up. so gravity doesn't start to win his. We know those people, unfortunately, we have a few of those, don't we? Relatives that gravity's winning. So we want to train those muscles to beat gravity. And one more thing on that, you know, gravity isn't that heavy. We don't feel it. It sneaks up on us, doesn't it? So that's the whole idea too, is that you don't have to train that hard, just enough to cancel out.
It's not the whole
Right, just a couple more minutes. And yeah, as you've probably seen, I have broken my foot. I'm well. The day to get another X-ray. Hopefully, I'll be able to get rid of my boot. But I will tell you too, if I can't quite fully do an exercise, I will tell you that. And I was like, even though I can't do this, I want you to do this. All right. So as you're waiting, I got 2 more minutes. I'd like to wait and let people join. Start to find yourself in a comfortable seated position. You know, if you want to start to warm up a little bit, stretch around, roll around, go ahead and start to warm up that spine a little bit. I tend to do that a lot on my own. But we want to find a fairly comfortable seated position. And for those of you that have started to join, if you know you have a tight neck, your neck gets tired a lot, like trying to do sit-ups, grab a bed pillow. And we'll use that to cushion our neck. And also too, if you have a hard time, if your back is stiff today, your hamstrings are stiff, and it's a little tough to sit up straight, you can always pop yourself up on your pillow, and that usually will take the pull out of a low back. Even if you need a little more height, fold the pillow over and sit on that. We do this a lot in yoga. We don't always bring it into Pilates, but it is absolutely legal. So I guess we want that spine up nice and tall, so that tailbone is going straight into the floor. And some days it's easier to do than others. So check yourself out. How easy is it for you to sit up straight? And feel free to give yourself that boost. That is not cheating. All right. My clock says 11, so let's get started. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. Find your comfortable seated position. My name is Michele, by the way. And I'm also going to be teaching, my daughter and I will be leading a family yoga class on Sundays as well. So stay coming back to however you found this class. I know a lot of it is on our Facebook page for the Parker Rec Center. Keep coming back to see the schedule. But like I said, let's find that comfortable seated position so you feel a little lifted against gravity. Now I'm going to get slightly picky here in Pilates. Pilates isn't it picky? So we want to sit fairly tall, but we don't want to sit really tall. You see how I've started to lift my chin and my collarbones? I want to level this out. And you want to feel a little relaxed through the rib cage. So it's not military stiff, just even there. We want to really feel the groundedness in that tail. Okay? So play around with the leg position. You might want to lengthen one leg long. I call these zigzag legs. You can sit with a soft cross-legged. You don't always have to pull those feet way in, but rock yourself and get yourself comfortable into those sits bones. We're going to bring the arms down to the sides. Think that you've sat up next to the wall, and we're going to raise. I mix up my lefts and rights all the time. Okay, I'm going to cue it as you see. I'm going to cue it for you. So your right arm's going to come up, and you're going to tip. Now try not to roll towards me. Try to lean away from me so I can see your collarbones and your chest there. And then we come back to center. And then you're going to tip it the other way. So try not to roll forwards. We don't want to close this down. We're starting to open that heart center in Pilates. We want that area a little strong. So as you tip, you're going to feel you want to come in forward. Lean it back a little bit, open through the collarbones, be strong between your shoulder blades. And we're like a tree when we practice Pilates. It's not as how far can I go? That's a little bit more yoga. We want to be strong in here like we've got roots of a tree. And then we tip in. The hips don't follow. See, my hips aren't going to follow. They're going to stay. And I'm going to tip and I'm like, ooh, let that get strong right in there. And then from right in there, pull yourself back and try the other way. Now your neck, let it be comfortable. So you can look down, you can look up. And I tend to move very slow. If you haven't noticed, my reps are really slow. Feel free to go faster than me. Feel free to be slower than me. But let's do one more in each direction. Starting to learn to lean and have that chest open. The ribs roll back. All right. So we want to warm that spine. as much as we can. All the muscles around all the little vertebrae. So come to hands and knees for me. You want your hands under your shoulders and your knees about under your hips. We're going to start to cat and get out here. So when we cats and cows, it's more for the chest and the back, not so much through your nose. So it's not how high can you lift. It's through the mid-back and then through the chest. So shift your attention to your rib cage, front and back. And the head can come along for the ride. Can you feel a little bit of that difference? Elbows a little bit, but try not to lock into those elbows. Use your fingertips instead of your elbows. And again, see what feels best. What needs to be loosened? Feel free to linger and move around a little bit. Open things up. Get those teeny tiny muscles that might be starting to get stiff. One more time. Now just hold here on all fours for me in tabletop. In Pilates, we really want to bring in a diaphragmatic breath because that fires your abs the best. So try to breathe in and let your belly drop towards the floor. And as you exhale, imagine you're going to blow out a candle and see if you can feel your belly start to lift up. So let's try it for 2 more breaths. Belly drops towards the floor. Exhale. Can you feel your belly pull up? And do that one more time. Feel that belly pull up. Now this is like a child's pose, but a little different. Knees apart, your toes together. And you're going to feel your belly pull up, and you're going to round back over those thighs. So we're not sinking way down as quite in yoga, but we're going to pull ourselves up. And then we round out, kind of like an umbrella. Can you do 3 more of those Pilates breaths then? And exhale, pull the belly up. Breathe in, feel the belly. Exhale, pull the belly up. One more time. Pull the belly up. Come to hands and knees. Take a breath. Come around to seated again. Like I said earlier, if your back or your hamstrings feel a little tight, just pop yourself up on your pillow. Let's start with these legs long. And they're not going to be terribly wide. Okay, your feet are slightly wider than your hips. You're going to sit up as best as your body is going to allow. So again, if I show you from the side, rather than sitting back here, we're going to try to pull that tail down. See if my ribs come a little forward, but I'm not way up there either. I'm like right in the middle there. Pull your toes back towards you so your feet flex. Feel your quads hugging above your kneecaps, holding nice and strong right here. Let's bring fingertip to fingertip. And think of your belly button. You're going to turn your belly button just a couple inches to the right. Now hold this twist. Feel your legs push out and not follow the elbows. Slowly come back to center. Think of your belly button again. Breathe in and breathe out. Little twist to the left. Feel your legs stay center. Remember how Barbie used to twist? And come back. We're going to go to the right again. Now this is kind of stage 1. Now you can stay here. You can work here. We want to find the muscles in these ribs down here. So one of the things we want to watch for is that you're not trying to pull first with your elbows. Okay? So your hands stay right in front of your sternum. If you feel like playing today, lengthen the arms up very gently. See how they're in a V? Let them sit and then twist again. So you feel like your left armpit twists back and slowly bring it forward. Can you twist your right armpit back and slowly bring it forward? Keep your feet strong. Twisting. Left armpit back. Gently bring it forward and that right arm. Little twist back. Now again, you can play here. You can be with your hands here, or if you want, when you twist that left armpit back, pull the left elbow down and back. And then slowly return up, ground into your roots, your tailbone. Right hand is going to pull a little bit down and back. Slowly bring it back. Reach up, but ground down. Your hand is lifted, but ground down. So we're not hollowing. And again, left hand, slow down and back. That same lovely controlled pace coming up. And on the right side. One more time. So gentle. Ground through the sits bones. Ground through the sits bones. Left elbow softly pulls down. You know how barbershop pull spirals up? As you bring that right elbow down, spiral up through the crown of your head. And come to center. Now keep your body strong. float your arms down. Right at the sides here. Can you still feel this belly on, pushing out through those legs like you're in the shape of a letter L, and breathe. Hold on, one more breath. Nice, come down to your belly. When we lay on our stomach, our abs can be like a sagging hammock. We want to tighten them up a bit, like pumping up a flat tire. So you're going to take your hands and you're going to stack them, and you can rest your forehead on your hands. Lengthen the legs gently back. Feel like you're grounding through your toenails just a little bit. Just be careful that you don't cramp your feet. And we want to open the belly here. So you're going to stack. Elbows feel wide, shoulder blades go down the back. And can you firm your belly into your mat like you're pumping up a tire? Play around with that for about 2 or 3 breaths. Every movement we add, it's to challenge the abs. We want to keep them pulled long and tight, like a tightrope, rather than letting it sag. So we're going to start very easy. Adjust your hands to their fingertip to fingertip. Forehead comes down. Let's start with the right hand. So you're going to lift your head just a little bit. The right hand comes with, and you're going to pause at the top. It's a small lift. Feel yourself getting wampus. You feel that right side's heavier than the left. Gently ground through the toenails. Feel your belly long. Slowly come down. Let's try that on the left side. So a little lift. Reach back through the toenails. At the top, pause for just a second or two and feel yourself unbalanced. Coming down. We want to work both sides. Let's try that right side again. So a slow lift. Can you hold there and get longer like you're a piece of elastic being pulled long? And come on down. Let's try it on the other side. Long. Now try not to let your belly get shorter or sag at all as you come down. And one more time, right and left. Feel that strength. Put it in your stomach, in your rib cage. Try not to let your shoulders shrug. If you can help it, don't lift that high that you feel it in your neck or your shoulders. And we're going to come down. You're going to slide your hands out like grasshopper legs here. Turn your toes under. Push hands and knees. Let's do just a few more cats and cows. Remember, this is for the chest and the back ribs. So an easy roll down and up. Our goal is to loosen, not necessarily make it bigger. So as you're rolling through here, is it loosening? Try not to shove. Try not to over tighten. Just let it feel good. One more time. Roll it up. Relax it down. Give me 3 Pilates breaths here. So try to fill your belly up, not your chest. Think your belly. Blow that candle out. Fish hook your belly up and into the rib cage. Do 2 more breaths. And we're going to try the child's pose in Pilates, which is shell stretch. Knees a little bit wide. Big toes together. And this now, can you fire your abs? Fold it over. So you bring your hands to a position that allows your neck to hang. Same thing, 3 Pilates breaths. Can you breathe into your belly? Exhale, pull your belly button up into your ribs. Try it again. One more time. The hands and knees. And coming back down onto your tummy. Same idea, fingertip to fingertip, but instead of lifting one arm at a time, we're going to do both. So feel those toenails lightly grounding down. You're getting long, like you've got a lovely heavy mermaid tail, and feel your belly long but strong. Forehead lightly touches the hands. You can breathe and float both. Keep this really low so it doesn't climb into the neck and shoulders. You feel it in your belly, back, and legs, and slowly setting down. Try not to just let gravity pull you down. And then you come up, and you pause for a controlled second, and you slowly come down. So you can start to move here at your own pace, but the whole idea is to feel length in your stomach, so we don't come up tight, pulling in. We're long, and almost like we would get longer as we come down, and then long again. 2 more, really trying to feel the length here. And I think this is the second one. You'd think I'd be able to count to 2. And coming down. Let's find hands and knees. And again, a few cats and cows to release the spine. Release the ribs, release the spine. A nice loose spine feels good. We know what it's like when it's too tight. So do this a few times to release and loosen it. And again, we're going to do those 3 Pilates breaths in tabletop. Feel the belly. Fire the belly up and into the ribs. Feel the belly. Just hook that belly button up and in. Last one in this position. Now let's try it in child's pose. So knees scoot a little wide, big toes together, because the abs really want to let go. It wants to hang and let go, but can we fire up and in? Just the head relaxes as soft. Breathe into that belly. Try to fire the belly as best as you can. 2 more times at your own pace. Around, land your back, please. Now this is where you can grab that pillow and support your head if you'd like. So in Pilates, we want obviously firing here. So the idea is that the ribs knit in and the weight comes into our rib cage. So start with your hands straight up towards the ceiling. Just feel something soft, the weight of the arms. Now drop them just in line with your eyes. Back here, you can't see your arms anymore. That's a little too far. Right here, can you feel how your rib cage wants to lift? Can you hold it down? Almost like you're holding a $100 bill under your back there. And it's not your low back, it's your mid back. Bring your fingertips up, take a breath or two. Try that again. Can you feel the weight of the arms there? As it wants to pull the ribs up, you sink it down. Now here's the thing, it's not your booty. It's your abs up here, not down. So try a couple more times. You can lift those fingertips towards the sky and drop over the head. We want it to feel higher up in here that we're holding in, not just squeezing our seat under. Take those arms, drop them down. Now let's add some more weight here. The upper body, so you can take a breath in. Start to nod yes, and you roll up just to the mid back. This is where it gets a little picky again. It's not way up here. See how my shoulders are open, my arms are relaxed, but I am working right here. And then we roll back down. So try not to set your head down first. Try to set your shoulder blades down first, and then your head. Breathe in. Exhale, nod yes. Roll up just past your shoulder blades so you feel it in your rib cage. And can you pause right there? Don't go any deeper. Don't go to your low back. Right there in those ribs. Now, can you roll your shoulder blades down, still looking at your knees? We're not going to set the head down first. And relax completely. Take a breath in. Exhale, nod the chin. Yes, you're going to roll up. Pause right there in that mid back. And then roll your shoulder blades down in your head. Relax the throat. Breathe in. This is the last one. You start to nod. Yes. And we come up. Pausing here. Rolling shoulder blades back down. And then the head. Let's take the arms over the head. The legs go long. Give yourself a nice stretch here. Open this all up. Sometimes it feels good to stretch one side farther than the other. So if you want to stretch out that right arm and right leg, and you can relax the center, you can do the left side. Coming back to center. Let's bend the knees, step the feet in, arms come down to the sides. Explaining neutral spine versus imprint. Now, when we lay here relaxed, there's that tiny little bridge under your low back. That is called neutral spine. When we sink our ribs, that flattens the back gently to the floor, giving us an imprint. Remember, we're not doing that with the seat. We're doing that with our ribs. Whenever we lift our legs, we want to find imprint. So can you do that for me? Can you sink down through your ribs, not squeezing your seat? And we're going to lift one foot. Now, you see how my foot is behind my knee? I'm not up here, or I'm not way down here. It weighs the most there. So can you play around and feel where that weight is of your legs? Now, it wants to lift your back. Remember, keep those ribs down. Have your low back just touch the mat. That's the coordination in Pilates. And we don't squeeze the seat so the low back is getting squashed. See the weights in my tail? From there, let's try a few more of these. So the arms are at the side. The legs are going to stay right here for now. Breathe in. Exhale, start to nod. Yes, roll up to just the rib cage. Pause there. Roll shoulder blades down, then head. Relax the neck and breathe in. Exhale, roll up. Inhale to stay. Exhale, roll down. Relax the throat, breathe in. Nod yes as you exhale, roll up. Now, if you're having a hard time keeping up with the breath, just breathe. Pause for a second. You can breathe in here and exhale and roll down. 2 more times. Inhale and exhale, nod yes and roll up. Not so far. This isn't trying to roll up as far as we can. And then rolling back down. It's to try to get these muscles right around the ribs, those abs, to fire the best. The last one, as you breathe out, you nod yes and roll up. Let's roll back down. Can you bring your shoulder blades first? Then your head. This time, let's bring the knees towards the chest. Now, you can hold on in the back of the knees, or you can hold on top. And you're going to roll the weight from one side of your rib cage to the other. And again, let it feel good. Release the ribs. I'm going to add on a little more. You can add as much or as little. So this is where that comes in. Remember I said when we work in Pilates, you want to feel fairly strong and a little bit of challenge, like 80% strong, 70% strong, 20%, 30% challenge, rather than the other way around. And if your back or your neck or your shoulders are like, please take a break, you just come down, take a breath for a second or two, and then join back in. But let's find that tabletop position with the legs. Remember, the feet lift away, the knees are over the hips, sink down to the ribs so you feel the skin of your low back just touching the mat. There's no pressure there. All right, let's inhale, exhale, roll this on up. Now you can use stay. If you want to stay, then we can take those arms and we can lift them up by the ears, and there's a little more pull that keeping those ribs down. We can bring those arms down. So you can lift arms up towards the sky and down, and you can hold maybe for 2 or 3 or 4 repetitions. This is where we don't want to overuse our neck, okay? Bring arms down, roll shoulder blades down to the floor, and hey, can you hold the feet? Or if you want to drop the feet, you can too. Hold your imprint. You're still strong right here. Breathe in and out. Roll it on up. Now you can do circles with the arms if you'd like. And you don't have to drop the arms way back again. Can you see how that's a little big on the shoulder? It's hard on the shoulder. So just in line with the ears, open down and around. So when you move your arms, it's going to want to lift those ribs again. What controls your ribs? Your abs. You can keep your ribs down, your abs are on, nice and strong. Maybe one more circle. Pause here with the arms at the sides. Be strong. Breathe in. Exhale, roll your shoulder blades down, then your head. If you can hold your legs here, you're going to hold your legs here. Take a breath. Let's use the legs now. And we're going to bring our toes, our heels, and our knees together. And you're going to lift up on a diagonal. Out and up. Rather than down, and it's not straight up to the sky. It's on that diagonal. Now, again, either that's going to want to make you lift your low back or press it down really hard. Can you hold in the middle? Keep your toes, heels, knees joined, and slide in only what feels halfway. Don't pull your knees all the way into your chest. We want to keep working here, so we're going to slide that out. Pause. Slide that in. By chance, can you feel that right in here? So when you slide out, keep those knees joined. Inner thighs, right up into that belly. Slow. Move slow. And feel that fires the abs more than faster movements. 2 more. Slide out, slow slide in. Try to feel a little ease around your collarbones and the front of your throat. This is the last time we're going to slide the legs out. Slowly pulling in. Can you hold here? If you can, I'm going to ask you to hold here. If you need to drop your feet, you go right ahead. Taking a few breaths. When you're ready, we're coming back to the legs and tabletop. Arms are at the floor. You breathe in and exhale and roll up. Hold here. Maybe arms and like open and in. Now remember, if the goal is not how far can you open, the goal is can you add weight and keep your ribs down. Slow moving and keeping your ribs down. The weight doesn't shift from tailbone to ribs at all. So it's like a corset. And when we lift the arms and the legs, the corset feels a little tighter. Dropping the arms way back or the legs out isn't necessarily going to fire that corset more. Right up here. And in one more time. Now we're going to peel out nice and slow. So you're going to bring your knees in, arms come down, pause for me, breathe in. Exhale, roll shoulder blades down, then your head. Hold here, another breath, breathe in. Left foot comes down, right foot comes down. Now we're done. You can sway your knees from side to side. This is going to twist out and release. Start to release your low back. So let's twist for a few repetitions here. Now, if you have your feet and knees close together, this is going to target your low back better. If you'd like, you step your feet wide, about off the edges of the mat, and you sway again. And this is going to start to open your hip flexors and stretch down into your quads. So do what feels best in your body today. One more time. And then we're going to come back to seated. Now you can do that by holding a knee into your chest and rock yourself up to seated. You can roll yourself to your side and push yourself up to seated however you'd like. Remember that idea of stretching our abs long and being strong? We did it on our stomach where we could push our tummy into the floor. But now I'm going to challenge you a bit more. Can we find strong abs when we don't have anything to push into? So you're going to come back to hands and knees. You're going to bring your right hand under your chin and your right foot goes off the mat behind you. Slide the left leg long and we're going to open up. Now try not to get too carried away with the left hand. It doesn't need to go back or up, just straight up. Can you open this for me right here? Instead of coming down and maybe looking at this hand, bring the gaze up. Now open this. You see that, how I'm going to pull that bottom armpit under and here. And we want to see if we can feel the belly firing. Okay, so opening nice and long. Take a few breaths here. You might need to adjust. If your hand is really in tight here, it's hard to open up. So notice how much space. This hand is under my shoulder. So when I look down, it's about under my chin. Then I've got more space to balance. Okay, so this arm can come up or this hand can be on the hip. And we're going to start with this leg. So the belly opens. You see how I'm not facing down? My belly button's going to try to roll up, up, up. Now let's add a little weight to that. That slide up. And of course, we have to stay at the top and be strong. And that slow release down. Like your leg is getting longer out of the hip socket. So this elbow, this right elbow is going to try to stay a little bit bent. Use your fingertips. And we stay strong right here. So no matter if I lift my leg or I lower it, I don't melt. I don't sit back. I don't twist. I stay right there. Now, if you want to play this left hand, bring it in front of your forehead. This is amazing what it does. And down. One more time. And up. Come on down. We're going to do this on the other side. You don't have to change directions quite like I am. I'm doing this so you can see me better in the camera. But now, for the other side, the left hand's under the chin. The left foot goes off the mat. And we roll up. And like I said, try to feel the tummy stretch and open, right? Try to feel this rather than up in the shoulders. So hand can be on the hip, hand can lengthen. Left elbow bent, open that up. Now challenge it. You float the leg up and down. Real nice and controlled. Try to pause at that top if you can, and then slowly coming down. Because the weight of the leg wants to turn us down. So can we stay open from armpit to armpit, belly long, gaze can be up, gaze can be wherever is comfortable on your neck. Now again, if you'd like, this right hand be on the hip, otherwise, just the back of the hand, just in front of the forehead, and you will feel this a lot more everywhere else. One more time, that little slow float up and now hold and bring it down. Come down. We're going to go back to the other side one more time. So like I said, I'm gently going to add challenges. You add as much or as little as you like. So the right hand goes back under your chin. Your right foot goes off the mat. Lengthen long. Coming up. And lift. And now, that's your left hand. In the air, hip or forehead, can we do little circles? Little circles forwards and really small, almost where you see them. I'm sorry, not see them, feel them more than you see them. And around. and around, and around. Can you pause? Can you pause? Can you keep your belly open? Can you go the other way? Take your time. Try not to make them fast. Notice they hurt more if they're not fast. One more circle and a pause. And if we hold here, we hold here. Can you pull those left toes a little bit forwards? Just a smidgen. And then sweep them back just a little bit. Don't make this movement big. Real slow. So those right fingertips are stuck. The right kneecap is stuck. And that little movement forwards. And that little movement back. And that little movement forwards. And that little movement back. Can you hold? And down. Nice. Bring it around the other side. Now, I know this is getting into the hips, so do as much or as little as you want. And also remember, your body's going to be stronger on one side than the other. So your left hand goes under your chin. Your left foot goes off the mat. Right leg long. Give myself just a little more space. Okay, open up big on this side. Real big here. Feel that left armpit come underneath you. Open. Hand up on the hip. Or if you want to start right away, here you can. And it's those little circles. Take your time. Try to be slow. Try to let it get into your thighs. Can you feel your belly be strong, your back long? Feel this more underneath the armpits and down into the torso than in the shoulder. Take a breath and pause. Let's go the other way. Now this is where you got to decide how much is challenging, how much is strong. Try not to push it too far. And we're going to pause. It's that little pull forward and that little sweep back. Now you take the weight of the leg and you bring it forward, but we try not to feel our weight shift. We try to feel that weight stay right there. And then we bring the weight of the leg back and a little forward and a little back. One more time. Forwards, a little back. Bring that down. Nice work. Let's come down over to seated. And I'm going to turn so my left foot is facing in so you can see. So we've got our hands scooped under the knee pits. Now my right foot can't do that right now, but left toes, can you ground both feet into the floor? Right through the big toe and the ball of the foot, all down. A lot of times I'll see people that'll roll like the pinky toe down. See if you can get the big toe down. Feet are a little bit apart, and you're gonna sit right up on that tailbone. Hands start under the knee pits. Now you get to squeeze your seat. Squeezing, rolling a little bit back. And can you pause right here? So we don't want to use our biceps. So where do you feel it? We want to feel it in the feet, inner thighs. Bring those knees a little bit towards each other. Try not to let them drop away. And let it get right here. Right in here. Squeeze your seat real nice and strong again. And can you roll this up? Now when I say roll up, you see how my head stays dropped? I don't lead with my chin. I'm going to keep my head a little bit dropped. Come up to the top. Take a breath. Toes are down. Squeeze your seat. Roll it back. Pause there for a second. Now squeeze your seat again. Keep your chin down as you roll back up. Take a breath or two. Squeeze your seat and you start to roll back. If you want, you can change this grip from behind your knees to the sides. And coming up. And squeezing. Tucking under. Pause. Try to pause and change directions. Can you feel that deep in your belly that you use those deep abs to change directions? And again, rolling back. Pause and roll up. Now you can take a little breather here. Let's bring soles of the feet together. Rest your body forward. Now we're going to play with somewhat of roll backs and roll ups. Do as much or as little as you want. If you know you have a chronically tight back, this is going to be a little challenging. So again, do as much as you can that feels comfortable. Roll backs are where we try to roll back with control, right? So imagine a string of grapes, and I'm going to squish each one at a time. So I'm not going to open up this way and miss any. I'm going to roll and tuck my tail under and try to come down. Now you may feel, if you want to stop here, you can change directions and come back up. You can do this as far down and as far up as you'd like. Coming up is a bit harder. So if you roll all the way down, you can try to come up. There's a sticky spot, isn't there? Right there. You gotta squeeze your seat, use your toes, and pull yourself up. Now, some days that's really hard. If this is one of those really hard days, this is what you can work on, and you will hit the same muscles. From laying on your back, your knees come in, arms come just over the head, and you roll up. You see how my arms and legs stay long? And then you can roll down. Now, you can do this with long legs, bent legs. Personally, I'm a long-legged fan. And the idea is that you take your time and you really work those muscles. And it's the same thing coming up. I'm going to show you again how to roll up. Knees come in, arms, and then you use that momentum so we learn how to roll on that spine. So can you squeeze your seat and roll them? Think of a wheel. You got to roll. We don't want to open this up because then we can't roll anymore. And then coming up is the same thing. You want to roll. So the shoulders come up, the chin tucks. You really squeeze your seat under and use your inner thighs here. Come up. The next time you're laying on your back, you roll back, stay there. And you can take those arms over your head, legs long, stretch this out. One more breath in and out. So arms come down to your sides and your palms turn down. Now we're going to keep the leg long. So you don't need to find your imprint. You don't need to bring that low back to the floor, but we do want to cinch these ribs in. So think of being heavy through the rib cage. You're going to leave your right leg long and your left knee is going to come in. And we're going to lengthen that out on a diagonal. You see that's a diagonal rather than straight up or a drop. Right there. Now this right leg can be bent too. If it's pulling too hard on your back, bend that right knee and that will help. But we're going to draw super teeny, tiny circles as big as a watch. And you want to think of stirring from your thigh, from your hip socket. So it's not kind of down in here or a bop. It's real control. Okay, so like I said, that right leg can be long or it can be bent. You want to try to create some ease in your shoulders here. Now again, you can always bolster your neck if you need to. So slow in, slow out, slow. And you don't watch with the numbers. Can you trace out to the 3, out to the 9? Don't skip those. We tend to hit the 6s and the 12s really well. Do one more circle, and then you're going to pause. Now you're going to go in the other direction. So notice where you feel this, hopefully in your thigh, hopefully way in the hip socket. We feel some tightness through that rib cage, so it holds it down. So we're not shrugging up into the shoulders here. Okay. Feel the weight of the leg. Feel what muscles you need to control this movement. Let's just do one more here. Bend the knee, bring the foot to the floor, switching sides. So you're going to lift that right leg. See how that feels. Can you keep your ribs down? Can you keep your collarbones open? Do you need to adjust that left knee? Do you need to bolster your head? Same thing, little circles, tiny, tiny, like a watch. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Isn't that amazing how the smaller ones are more challenging than the bigger ones? So keep that nice control and even pace if you can. You can feel there's a little bit of an easier spot and then it gets harder. And then there's an easier spot and it gets harder. Try to slow it all down. One more. And then a pause. Slow. Feel which muscles change the direction of your leg. Like I said, this is like that cursive. Slowing down so you can feel which muscles in your hand need to turn and move that pencil in a different direction. So feel that, but where that is going to be is in the thigh. It's going to be in the belly, maybe even in the back, but hopefully not in the neck and the shoulders. Okay, not in the jaw. That's all relaxed. One more circle. Let's bring those feet to the floor. Okay. Remember the knee sways? You can do them with the feet together to get your back or your spine a little more, or you can separate the feet really wide and get into your hip flexors, which also feels really good. we're gonna come up to seated. So a knee into the chest, rocking up, or rolling yourself to your side, whichever you prefer. Playing a bit more with that idea of being able to move the legs. So let's start with the legs long. I can get my toes in here for you. There we go. So we're gonna sit up nice and tall. Now I like fingertips down because then we can't use our hands to help us. We wanna sit back into those tailbone, ribs stay a little bit down, feet are on. Can you roll the feet out? And when the feet roll, you wanna feel it from the inner thighs. And from these inner thighs, can you roll in, like toes in, heels out, and hold that? Feel how that starts to kind of squeeze like control top pantyhose? Let's take toes out, heels a little bit towards each other, and staying a little tall, so fingertips can be on the floor. Some people like to hold them out, kind of like ballerina. And out, let's try that one more time. So they toes in, heels out. Heels in, toes out. Okay, take a little breather. We're gonna come in, and the hands are gonna come behind, fingertips are turning left and right, chest a little open. So think of your spine like a J, okay, not the letter I. We're gonna squeeze our seat and pull under, and it's just that low part from like my waistband down that's rolling under. I'm not rolling and sinking also with my collarbone, so just a J. So give that caboose a good squeeze. We're gonna come up to toes. Now I can only show you that on my left foot. Hands can start in the knee pits. We're gonna lengthen out with that left leg and down, and we're gonna lengthen out with the right. So think of making your leg as long out as you can. Rather than dropping down towards the floor or just kind of a kick here, think of really pulling into the quad, up into those abs, and keeping your seat on. Now, can we try both a little bit? Out. Now, I've had my fingertips here, or you can come here for both. Sometimes it's a little easier with those arms back and in. Collarbone slightly open here. All right, can you hold? Can you turn toes out, heels? Inner thighs, now turn heels together. I'm sorry, toes together, heels out. And heels touch, toes swing away. Squeeze your seat, bring your toes together. Squeeze your seat again and swing the heels out. Can we do one more time? Heels together, toes swing away. Toes come together and heels swing out. And in, and you hang on, you bring those feet down. And in. Soles of the feet together. Let's just relax down. Let the head come in. Everything softens. So feel your breath lift you just a smidgen on the inhale. Your goal on the exhale is to let go. One more breath like that. Go ahead and roll it on up. One more oblique. One more for the obliques. So we started with that small roll back. Do you remember that when we squeezed the seat really well? Rolling back like you're gonna squish grapes. I'm gonna try to turn slightly so you can see. So when we roll back, we want to add a twist. So this arm is gonna come back. See how this one didn't cross over? Because we want to stay tall. So when I twist, see how that opposite arm kind of stays in front? Just that one arm is going to go back behind, okay? So if you can, both sets of toes down. Kneecap straight up to the sky. Give your seat a good squeeze and roll back a few inches right there so you're curved under. Take a breath. Let's start with that left hand, and it's going to sweep back. But see how my right hand doesn't follow. Now I can look back at that left hand, but the right one is not crossing over. Let's bring the left hand right there. And right goes back. You can watch it go back, but don't let the left one follow. Bring it back up. Keep your seat really strong and challenge the strength of your glutes with the weight of the arm. Left, sweeping down, and let that arm drop towards the floor rather than lifting high. That can get into our neck. Dropping down and back and dropping back and forwards keeps the shoulder a little softer. And in, and back. Now, if you're, I get the hang of this, Michelle, I got it today. This is what you can start to add, is you can come back up to center. Squeeze, roll back, twist, pause. Come back, roll up, center. Squeeze seat, roll back, pause before you twist back. Twist that, pause. Add all those little pauses. Remember, we roll up so the chin stays down. We don't lean through that chin. We squeeze the seat, roll down. Do you have to add the roll back and up? No. Remember, you can just twist and hold it back. Squeeze the seat, roll up. Now you can start to move at your own pace. One more each side. That back. Bring it back, center squeeze, coming up. Last one. And back. And up, pause. Feet together. And again, melt forwards. Breathing here. One more breath. Head heavy, jaw soft. Roll it on up. Come back, hands and knees. We're going to add a bit more motion now, because we don't always just move in these little bits through our daily lives. We tend to move our body a lot. So in hands and knees, bring your knees all the way together and turn your toes under. Your elbows are a little bit bent, and using your fingertips. Squeeze your knees really strong, like you're holding $1 million winning lottery ticket there. And you're going to push into your hands, your fingertips. Can you hover your knees just from the floor, the tiniest little bit? Breathe there a couple times. And then keeping your knees connected, inner thighs strong. It's like a downward dog. You know, you come up and you can drop the head and then squeeze the knees together. Again, look at your hands. You're gonna let the weight come into your fingertips and hands, and you're gonna drop those knees under, real strong in the inner thighs. Can you feel that weight, that tug in the inner thighs? Now lift up again, nice and slow. Really use the inner thighs and the abs. So we're gonna go back and forth here a few times. Strong in the armpits and chest, not so much the tops of the shoulders, cinching the belly. Strong inner thighs here. Let's one more time. Drop the knees towards the mat, so look ahead. Grab into your fingertips, so it's not just your wrists. Bring the weight into your chest, in between your armpits. Hover those knees. Take a breath, and we're going to take this all the way back up, like into a downward dog. And we're going to hold here. Now you can step your feet a little wider if you want. You can stretch this out for a couple breaths because that feels really good. Take a breath. You're going to start to walk your hands back towards your feet. Back, back, back. And then you're going to roll up. Let the blood come out of your head nice and slow. Okay. So I want to practice a little balance with you. I'm not so great at this. We're going to try to hover the heels and pressing into the toes. Take a breath. Let yourself be a little wobbly. Roll your heels down. I can't do this one very well. Lift your toes. I can only do it on the left. So lift your toes. Now feel the weight in the back of the heels. Take a breath. Bring your toes down. Feel all your toes. Sweep your arms up. Breathe in. Exhale. Roll down. Forward fold. From here, one hand at a time. Look a little forward. Your hands are going to walk out about 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. Lift into that downward dog. Bring your feet and knees together. Let's bring those knees down towards the mat, looking forwards. Holding here. You got 3 breaths for me. If you want, on breath number 1, you can levitate that right foot just the tiniest little bit and put it down. For breath number 2, it can be left foot up and a little bit down. And then both toes or both feet stay down for breath number 3. Now find your inner thighs. Stay strong in your chest. Lift up, back, downward dog. Take a breath and stretch it out. Now there's one hand that doesn't want to walk back first. Use that one. Which hand doesn't want to walk back first? And then use your abs. Lift the abs. Lift the abs. Lift the abs as you roll all the way up. Breath at the top. So again, feel your toes. Press them into the floor. Hover your heels the tiniest little bit and take a full breath in and out, letting yourself practice being wobbly. Roll your heels back down to the floor. Take a breath. Lift the toes. Pausing there. Breathe in. Breathe out. Toes come down. Let's inhale and sweep those arms up. Exhale into our forward fold. You can hold here for a breath. What hand doesn't want to walk forward first? Use that one. 3 steps out. 2, 3. Adjusting your feet so you can lift up into that downward dog. Knees and toes together. Let's look towards the hands. Hover those knees down. We're going to hover here for a couple breaths. Now you can keep your toes down, or if you want, you can take a breath in and out, hover right toes just a little bit. Bring that foot down, and maybe on the left side, hover in, or lift that left foot as you hover just for breath. Toes down. Stay here one more time. Breathe in, breathe out. Squeeze your inner thighs. Lengthen the legs into that downward dog. Why don't we hold here for a little bit? Breathe it out, stretch it out. So you can bend one knee at a time. Stretching that out. Shake your head no. Maybe nod your head yes. Whichever head you would like this time, you can walk them back towards your feet. Try to cinch up into the abs, nice and strong here. Feel free to take your time as you roll your spine up. Up, up, up. Once the blood is out of your head and you feel steady, go ahead, turn palms forward. Rolling the weight into the toes, floating your heels. Pause there for a couple seconds. Let yourself practice that balance. Roll your heels up. Feel that connection. Now lift your toes. Take another breath in and out and ground the toes. One more time. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, roll down into your forward fold. Hopefully your spine feels a little looser, a little warmer. Look ahead. Walk the hands out about 3 steps. 2 and 3. One more time. Toes together, knees together. Let your chest be strong. And then as the knees come in, come up onto the toes. And you hover. And again, if you want, take a breath and you can raise that right foot. See, it's barely, it's not way up there. It's just little. And then set it down. Take another breath in and out. And try the other side. In and out. Hold here. Breath number 1, if we can. If we have 2 more breaths in us in this little knee hover, we're going to try for breath number 2. And breath number 3. Set those knees down. Knees apart, big toes together. Let's just relax down into a child's pose. So this is where you can walk those hands towards the top of the mat. Forehead can come down. A couple variations. If you want to walk your hands to one side, that'll open up the ribs. And then the other side. Come into center. One more here. So bring your hands to prayer. Bring those hands behind your head, and you might want to walk your elbows up just a little further. And let that stretch get into the triceps, the armpits, the rib cage. Can you feel your face let go? Can you let your jaw relax? Come up, hands and knees, almost there. I'd like to twist you a little bit. So we're going to take that left hand, bring it up. Let's take this all the way under that right armpit. And you can set the weight down on that shoulder rather than turning your head down. Turn away, sink in there. Push into that right hand and come out. Let's do it the other way so that right hand comes up. And as we twist under, let that weight go into that bottom shoulder. Press into this left hand, really come up. One more twist each side. So right hand comes down. Inhale, left arm up. And twist it under. Sink down. Feel that comfortable weight. Stretch that out. You're going to push into your right hand to untwist. Bring the weight into your left hand. Sweep up that right arm. And exhale, twist it under. Gentle pressure. Let it feel good. Press into your left hand. Untwist. Head. Come around. Seated. Any way you want those legs. Remember that opening stretch, or wasn't even, that's where the fingertips were down, floating up, over. Hopefully, this feels easier, looser, maybe even taller. And again, one more time each side. Instead of twisting down, practice keeping those collarbones lifted. And can you feel which muscles you need? Lift up in there. Come to center. Take a breath. Exhale. Thank you so much for being here today. As always, like I said, keep an eye on that schedule and we'll keep our classes posted. You guys take care. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. And I